Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. How are you all? How is your all summer going? You're doing a lot of activities, in the class.
Yes.
Very nice, very nice. So we'll start quickly. You know what we'll do is today, and for next 4-5 sessions on Thursday, we will learn. Who wants to guess what we will learn? So we've been doing Bhagavad Gita, a lot of Bhagavad Gita shlokas, right? And we have done Bhagavad Gita introduction. We did the Mahatmya, Bhagavad Gita Mahatmya. Today, what we are going to do is we're going to see from in these sessions on Thursday, we'll see a broader view of Bhagavad Gita. Like we all know Bhagavad Gita, right? So Bhagavad Gita teaches us what? Bhagavad Gita teaches us the basic, like the very basic understanding of who we really are, why we are here, and what is our relationship to the world, who is God, and what is our relationship to the God, and why are we here, right? So have we all thought about these questions at some point? Do we know why we just have to go to school and then come back and then, eat and then do our homeworks and then we go to sleep and then we wake up in the morning and then the same thing over again? And then that goes on for years. And then we go to work at some point after our schools is done, college, school, degrees. And then we go to work, we do the same thing. Now, instead of school, we go to the, instead of the school and colleges, we go to work, but we still do the same thing, right? We come home, we work, we go to work, we come home, then we eat, and then we get up, and then we sleep. And then again, same thing over. And then that goes on for so many years of our life. And then we retire. We still have to deal with the chores or routines of our body. So what are we doing? Like who we really are, and why do we have to go through all this? And why do we have we thought about these questions? So Bhagavad Gita gives us understanding into these questions. So in broad, Bhagavad Gita teaches us who we really are. We are Jiva, or we are all souls, right? Now, who remembers the shloka from second chapter that we have already done? Who remembers that shloka? So many of you have memorized that shloka, right?
Which one, Mataji?
From the second chapter we had done, remember? That says that we are not the body, we are the soul. Yes, very nice. Very nice.
Mataji, is it Mata's precious to Khante here?
That is also related to this, where Krishna is saying that you be tolerant, you are just soul, you're not the body.
Okay, Mataji, can you say this? Mataji, I can't find the second chapter in this Bhagavad Gita. Can't find.
Yes.
Even this, the chapter you're showing right now, I can't find it in my book.
So this chapter is not the chapter from Bhagavad Gita, but it is describing the topics of Bhagavad Gita. So somebody said that shloka. I think Manohar said.
An SSR. The shloka in the Bhagavad Gita. I think I'm not able to find the second chapter. I can't see it.
Yeah. So yeah.
Manishi, go to the. Like, what is the shloka?
Okay, the shloka is Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara tatha dehantara prapti dhirastatra namuhyate. You all remember that?
Familiar.
Yes, can I say it?
I know that sloka. I know that sloka.
I'm not going to these classes much, but I feel like
I have
sloka is
the
familiar.
Okay.
Mataji, I have the book Science of Self-Realization.
Yes.
It's about
So let's get into it. Let's get into it. We are going to study that.
Prabhupada.
Yes, very nice. So we are going to study these 5 topics. Starting with what? With the shloka that we just said, that we are the jivas, we are not the body. And from that jivas, like from that understanding that we are jivas, then we will learn 4 other topics of Bhagavad Gita. What are those? So first is jiva, then Ishvara, then Prakriti, Kala, and Karma. These are the 5 topics. And in order, if we speak, then Jiva, Karma, Prakriti, Kala, and Ishvara. So these are the 5 topics. Now I am going to ask in between what are the 5 topics of Bhagavad Gita, and you should be able to answer that. Okay. So we're going to start today with a short story. Let's see. And what we will do is when I'm narrating the story, we will just read a little bit along. And this story is about one king, and that king has 4 wives. Okay. Now, amongst those 4 wives, king's 4th wife was the most dear to king. And so king paid the most attention to that wife. And, he would give her the finest garments and fulfill all her desires, and but it gives like utmost care to his 4th wife. And then the 3rd wife, he also loved his 3rd wife, but not very much as the 4th wife. And for the 3rd wife, he always, what did he use the 3rd wife for? He used to always carry, or go along with his 3rd wife to, wherever he had to go, like just to show off to the neighbors, to the other kingdoms. However, he feared that one day she would leave him because he would go places with her just to show off, but because she was beautiful. But at home, he would adorn mostly only the 4th wife. Then the 2nd wife, she was his confidant and was always kind and considerate and patient with the king. So he also loved her. However, whenever the king faced problems, he could confide to her to help. So he would, come always. If he has any problems, he would come to the 2nd wife. That's all. But still, his favorite wife was the 4th wife. Then the 1st wife, that was the elderly, and then king was, he would pay the least attention to his 1st wife. She was very loyal. She was very loyal to king. She made great contributions in maintaining the kingdom, helping him run the kingdom. However, he did not love his 1st wife so much as he deeply loved the others. And he never took notice, like, if she had any needs of her, king would not pay attention to those. Okay. Then what happened? One day, the king fell ill. Now, king is getting old, and he fell ill. He knew that his time was short. What happens, when we are getting old? We have learned that shloka also from Bhagavad Gita. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi, right? These 4 stages. When person gets old, first he's born, then he is an adult, and then he grows old, and then gets diseased, and then he has to leave the body, right? So king was in this stage. Now he's getting old, and now he knows that his time was short. And he thought to himself one day that, he all his life, he has done all other things, he has 4 wives, but, something was, he was just introspecting within himself. And he said that, okay, I have, mostly adorned my 4th wife. Let me see what, ask her that if she would accompany me when, or if something happens to me, or if I die, would she be accompanying me? So then what he does is he goes to his 4th wife and he asks, as he asked the 4th wife, I have loved you the most, endowed you with the finest clothing, and showered great care over you. Now that I am dying, will you follow me and keep me company? What did the 4th wife say? Can the 4th wife go with king? No, right? So the queen replied, absolutely not, replied the 4th wife. She walked and away without any word. Her answer cut the sharp knife right into king's heart. Then what happens? Then king says, okay, let me go to my 3rd wife. So what did king used to do with the 3rd wife? He used to go along like places, just various places, and she would accompany the king. So now he asks that whether would you accompany me if I die? What did the 3rd wife say? No, replied the 3rd wife. Life is too good. When you die, I'm gonna remarry. She's gonna go marry someone else, because she knew king did not loved her so much. And then his heart again was broken. Then he comes to the 2nd wife. He asks the 2nd wife, I have always turned to you for help. King used to go to her for any help he needs, right? And then now he's asking that if I die, would you accompany me? Then the 2nd says, I am sorry, I cannot, although she has helped king for entire life, but now she says, I cannot help you this time, replied the 2nd wife. She said, at the most, I can only send you to the grave. And that's it, right? She cannot accompany king when he's dying. Although if she wants to, she cannot do that. Her answer came like thunder now this time, because she was always there to help king. But even now, in this stage, nobody can accompany, right? King is thinking. And then what happens? Then he goes to his 1st wife. Then a voice called out, I will leave with you and follow you no matter where you go. His 1st wife was very loyal to king, right? Then the king looked up and there was his 1st wife. She was so sad and thin. She looked half starved. When she saw that king is ill and it's about time for him to leave, because she was very loyal, she said that I will leave with you. Now, okay, so the lesson here is not like having the 4 wives, and this is just the story, okay? So let's see what the connection is here, okay? Greatly grieved, the king said, I should have taken much better care of you when I had chance. So king is now thinking that he should have taken care of the 1st wife, who was the most loyal. So in truth, we all have such scenarios in our life. We all have these 4 wives in a sense, like we are saying wives, but these are really the situations that we have. And like I said, this is not just the story of the king and the wives, but it's just like presenting some scenario there of the situations of the life. Our 4th wife is who? Our body. No matter how much time and effort we give to this, what happens? Does the body go with us? We have to leave the body here, right? So have we thought about that question ever? that we are giving so much attention to this body. We are giving so much time, right? And resources. We do everything. We want to make it look good. We want to look good and thinking that we are the body, right? We do that because thinking we are the body. But Krishna says we are not the body. So what are we doing actually? We're just trying to make it look good. We want to do so many things. We want to, do all sorts of activities during the day just to what? Maintain the body, right? Okay, Suraj, I see you have some question. You raised hands. Is it a quick question we can answer, or we can take that at the end? But I'll let you say. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, Mataji, this is a quick question. So, Mataji, like, this isn't true for me because, like, I don't really, care for how I look and like stuff.
That's very nice.
Parents say I have to comb my hair when we go to places and stuff, and I don't want to.
That's very nice. I mean, in a sense, well, we do have to take care in a sense that we still have to comb our hairs, right? We still have to take shower and bath. What the point here is that realizing we do so many things just in the consciousness that understanding we are the body. So we still have to do those things, but what we can do is when we change our consciousness, those same activities have a different effect on our inner self. So let's see what is next. The third wife is what? Like our possessions, right? And our status and the wealth that we have. We just have that, and then we want to, we just go around showing off and just have, when we go places, we just have things, and those things are actually what? They are in a sense of our wealth, our possessions, right? So we use them for what? Just showing off, right? So then the second wife. The second wife is like our family and friends. When we have any problem, where do we go? We go to our family, we go to our friends, right? And no matter how much they have been there for us, the furthest that they can stay with us is only until we leave the body. That's it, right? Then the soul has its own journey. Krishna says that, right? Krishna says that in Bhagavad Gita. So even then, yes, again, the point is here not to like ignore or not take care of the family and friends, but the point here is that we're doing things understanding that we are this body, right? So understanding that the perspective, if we are not the body, then what are we doing for our inner self, the soul? Are we doing anything for our soul? How much time do we give to our, introspect our own self and do things for it? It's so maybe very little or maybe none, right? And that's what the point is here. And our first wife is our soul, often neglected, right? In pursuit of wealth, power. We want wealth, power, pleasure, and all other things we want. So how much we devote to ourselves actually. So, however, the soul, our real self, is the only thing that will remain and will journey further. And we have to cultivate the strength in it. We have to cultivate, we have to purify, and we have to elevate that. So then, based on, so Krishna says that further in few other chapters that of Bhagavad Gita shlokas that we were going to learn, that, when based on the consciousness, the soul gets a different destination, a different body. But if it is pure and it has, gotten rid of all these anarthas that we have in the soul, or in the subtle body, or when we are living this body, the anarthas that we have in our consciousness, if those are purified, then the soul is pure and it's free to go back to Krishna, where it lives a permanent life, right? It doesn't have to come into these short temporary lives again and again. 100 years is, how much does a person live? At the most 100 years, 90 years, 80 years, 70 years nowadays. Is that a long time, considering the Krishna says, right? The jivas are eternal. There was never a time, again, that shloka from 2nd chapter, right? Krishna says, there was never a time that I did not exist. There would never be a time in future that all these kings would not exist. So, soul is permanent, but then it has to come into these short lifespans in different bodies, in different, people be born into different families, different culture, different countries, and then we do these things, right? We get up, go to school, go to work, come back home, and then you're done for the day. And then like that, years and years and years are gone. And then it's time we get old and diseased, right? So what should we do? It is our greatest gift. Having this human body is the greatest gift. What is it that we can understand? God has given us intelligence to understand. God has given us this intelligence which can discriminate the right and wrong thing, which can discriminate, which can ask like who we are. Have you seen animals all around us, right? There's trees, animals, all other, birds and aquatics and jivas and reptiles. Do they ask? Do they have, that those kind of, having those kind of bodies is not easy. And do they have to stay out? Do they have like homes, comfortable homes like us? Do they ever ask, like, why do we have to like be in such situations? What they do, the first thing you come in the morning is birds will come and look for food, some grains here and there, and squirrels will come and, you've seen on your deck, they'll just look for food. Do they ever ask that question? And why? Because that capability of discrimination, that capability of that function of intelligence to ask or to inquire is given only to human beings. And it is the greatest gift actually to come into a human body. But when we come into the human body, then what do we do? Are we supposed to do only these 4 things? Eat, sleep, mate, and defend. Defend means living in the house. Living in the house is also a defense, right? What are we defending ourselves in living in the house? We're defending ourselves from this sometimes hot weather, cold weather, rain, and all these bugs would come. We want to be comfortable, right? That's why we have homes. And we want to take rest. That's why we want to, make something food for us. So we have these homes, right? But it's actually defending ourselves from all the other dangers, right? So are we supposed to do only these 4 things which animals are doing? What are the other animals doing? They also eat, we also eat, right? They also sleep, we also sleep, right? Second, third, they also mate, we also mate. Fourth, they also defend themselves. If some harm comes to them, they also defend. And then we also do the same thing. So is there actually anything else in us? Anything that we are doing that they are not doing? So coming into the human body, we have intelligence and we have a capability to inquire inquire what is going on. And what is the inquiry? Inquiry is actually what are we doing, who we are, first of all. And all that Krishna is giving in Bhagavad Gita, right? Everything he is explaining, right? So, Athato Brahma Jigyasa. Veda says that the first injunction of Vedas, Athato Brahma Jigyasa, means, what is the meaning of this word? Athato Brahma Jigyasa. Athato means now that I have this human body, now that I have intelligence to discriminate, now I have the intelligence to inquire, to understand what? Brahma Jigyasa, to understand what is going on. Brahman, inquire into the Brahman, into our own existence. That inquiry is actually what our scriptures are saying. That's the first thing we should do. Why do we have scriptures? Why do we have Bhagavad Gita? We have seen in our homes Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. We have seen all this in our homes, right? Why do we have that? Are those just to study and become scholarly and then just like, yeah, become nice scholarly at, what is it that we have to learn from them? That is the Athato Brahma Jigyasa that the scriptures themselves are saying. The first injunction of the scriptures of the Vedas saying that now you inquire into your own self. So that is what we are going to start today. Understanding our own self. Do we have answers to these questions? What are these questions? Who am I? Okay, this question, who am I? If I ask you this question, who am I? Tell me who are you? Would you answer like I am? Let's see. Yes, Manohar, you have your hands raised up. Say, what would you answer to that?
Like if we had our intelligence, or if we didn't have our intelligence.
Yeah, the question is, who are you? Would you would answer?
We're the soul.
Yeah. So we have learned Bhagavad Gita, so at least we understand that, right? That's the very, very, very important understanding, or the basis or the foundation of all the understanding, right? But if we generally ask who to a person who has never studied Bhagavad Gita, what would they answer? That they would tell their name, right? That I am so and so.
Their name or like, their name.
Yeah, they will say their name. They will say their city. They would say their citizenships, like wherever they are from. They are American. They are they are Indians, or they are blah, blah, blah from any country, right? Or they would say that they are son of such and such person, or a daughter of such and such person, right? Mihika, you had something to say?
Mataji, I just wanted to answer the question.
Yes, go ahead.
So we are the soul, we're not this body.
Correct. That's nice. So the question, say if we pose this question to someone who has not that understanding that we are the soul, then they would give all other designations, right? That we are all these people who we know. So where did we come from? The second question. Where did we come from? They would say, I came from India, I came from Rajasthan, I came from Maharashtra, I came from Delhi, I came from Bombay, I came from South India, south part of India, or I came from America, I came from Chicago, I came from Texas, right? Have we Have we really come from these places?
No.
No, this is where our
Yeah.
body came from.
We
Right,
came from Krishna.
right. See,
We came
somebody
from
that,
Golo.
yes, we all are all very special, children that you have this understanding at so young age. Because you're listening to these lot of classes and you're studying Bhagavad Gita, you're going to temple for the association, you're getting to learn in nice sangha, right? But someone who doesn't have all this mercy, then they would say that they are coming from this and this and this and this and this location, right? So then, what is the aim of my life? They would say, oh, I want to, study at so and so university and have like nice big degrees and then go work for a nice big companies and then have a big houses. That's they consider as the success of the life, right? Manasvi, you have something to say to this question?
Yeah,
What is
the aim of our life is to pray to Krishna so we can get back to this.
Right. Again, you're
Krishna
very
is.
special children that you have understanding, you have understanding of all this in so young age. But again, the same point that if we present this question to mass population, everybody is like, they want to have comfortable life, right? That's the aim, right? At the most, that's the aim. Then, how to be happy? They are in search of happiness. Everybody is in search of happiness. That's another goal that they'll have. I mean, not another goal, the same goal related to that. Why do they want to have big houses and comfortable life? So that it makes them happy. But do we know how to be happy?
To be happy, we have to pray to Krishna. If
Right.
Krishna is happy, we're happy.
Right, correct. If we water
To
the
be
seed,
happy, you have to chant Hare Krishna.
yep. Chant and be happy,
And
right?
do Krishna Bhakti and Krishna consciousness.
Very nice. Beautiful. Beautiful answers, all of you. So you already know insight into this. So I'm very happy that we are discussing this, right? And when you are learning all this, you have to share all this with your friends. You have to ask them these questions. And then whatever they answer, you have to express your thoughts or what you're learning, right? On what Krishna is speaking in Bhagavad Gita, because that's the whole intent of our learning too, right? Then we learn all this and then we share with others, and then we can go back to Godhead and we can take others also back to Godhead, so they can also go back to Godhead. So happiness, okay? For them, generally, the happiness is just comfortable life, big houses, big cars, beautiful clothing, and vacations and all that, right? But okay, I understand. Okay, we understand that those things give happiness, but aren't those happy? That happiness is a short time or just temporary. So let's understand. So, like when we eat nice, beautiful prasad we eat, right? Or somebody who is not eating prasad, who doesn't know about mercy of prasadam, and they just eat whatever they have to eat. How long does that pleasure last? How long does that pleasure last?
One day.
Few minutes, right? For few minutes, as long as it is on the tongue, and then once it is gone in our stomach, then done. Right?
Or a couple, or like a couple, like 20
maybe,
or that many minutes if you're eating a lot.
Sure. And then you might also remember that you ate that, like you ate an ice cream, or you might remember for a day.
Class ends, when the class will end.
We will end at 5. Is it getting boring? Isn't it
No.
nice? Okay. So, all this, this happiness, say we ate an ice cream, right? We remember that pleasure for how long? Maybe a day. And then if I ask you, what did you on this Tuesday, last week of Tuesday afternoon, in your lunchtime, what did you eat? Do you remember?
No.
No.
So we forget. We forget even like
Yes.
we forget like within short time.
Yesterday's lunch.
Exactly. So a week back, we're talking about, even like few days back, we won't remember. Or maybe yesterday morning breakfast, lunch also we won't remember. So we're running behind these things that are temporary. That's the point here, right? They might have other things that they're giving them happiness. But then again, you have to understand that is coming only, that happiness is there, but it's coming from the lot of hard work, but it is temporary. Many times we are boggled down by these things, right? Like stress, depression, self-centered, anger, lust, all these things that we have in us, right? Have we thought that why do I get stressed? Have we thought, how to uproot them? So this happiness and this distress and all that, Bhagavad Gita gives us understanding into all of that, what is there. So Bhagavad Gita gives us profound insight into all these questions. That is the first topic, that who we really are, or insight into these questions. It is not only about the next life or living very happily in this life. It is the perfect knowledge. Knowledge contained in Bhagavad Gita is a complete knowledge. One thing I learned very nice recently that I want to share. Why is it called Bhagavad Gita? Do you all know why is this scripture called Bhagavad Gita?
Because it's the song of God.
Because the translation of Bhagavad Gita is God's song.
Right. So because we are saying that because Krishna, who is the God who said or who sang this, that's why we call it Bhagavad Gita. Krishna has given this, poetic verses or, in the form of songs. In Bhagavatam also, in so many other Puranas, there are prayers and discussions that between devotees and Krishna, right? Uddhav Gita is also, but that's something that Krishna spoke. It is also poetic. Why is Uddhav Gita not called Bhagavad Gita? Why is Bhagavatam not called Bhagavad Gita? Why is all other Puranas, 18 Puranas, have discussion between Krishna and the devotees? So there's so many prayers that devotees have sung in glorification of Lord, and then in reciprocation, Krishna has given them, a lot of knowledge, and in the form of, in the spiritual world, every song, every word is a song. So Krishna always speaks like that. So it is called Bhagavad Gita because just by understanding Bhagavad Gita, we can attain God. If we see that Sandhi in that word, Bhagavad means to attain that particular thing. So if it is Bhagavad, then attain the Bhagavad. And who is Bhagavan? That is Krishna. So this song is just enough. There may be so many other scriptures, and that's nice. They are elaborate and they're nice, and it gives us deeper understanding. That's all very good. But this is just suffice, or this is sufficient, right? See, it's like you want, if you're hungry, you want food. There's just enough amount that you just satisfy your hunger, and that's enough, right? But then if you want to eat more, there's more, right? So, but your hunger satisfaction just needs some limited quantity, right? Bhagavad Gita's understanding or teachings are such that this is just sufficient for us to attain God. There are all other scriptures that are also there, which are, elaborate, and they are, they are there, which is so beautiful. Reciprocation, they bring us to more deeper understanding. But this is just suffice. So we're going to study in deep what these topics of Bhagavad Gita are. And we make our lives sublime by attaining the goal. Anyone may learn these practices, these universal teachings of Bhagavad Gita. It applies to everybody, not only to a certain sect or a culture or a religion. There's no such thing as Indian religion or American religion or Hindu religion, or to say it is on the platform of soul. A soul may be anything. It could be Christian, it could be Parsian, it could be Indian, it could be anything. So Bhagavad Gita's teachings are absolute, that they are on the platform of spirit soul, not just a sect, or so these are universal accepted teachings. The content, introduction, in the search of happiness, and some other questions that we can start thinking, or we all already thought, or we have encountered these at some point in our introspection or in our meditation. That does God exist? Who is God? Who am I? Why do we have to go through this hardships in the life? What are the laws of karma? And what is the way out of them? It's the science of yoga to connect back to Krishna, and the topmost yoga system, that's Bhakti Yoga. And then practical applications of all this understanding. So now I'll ask Mataji if we have a next activity coming up. We can, allot some times for questions. Mataji, what time do we have to stop?
Mataji, actually, our time is already start for activity, but actually lots of students have questions, Mataji.
Yes.
I'm so sorry to disturb you, Mataji.
Yes,
so
that's nice. Yeah. Okay, so you all can raise your hands, and whoever have question, we will we'll try to give some time for that.
Radhika, you have a question, right? You raised hand before.
No, Mataji, I don't have a question.
That time you hand raised, right, beta? 2 times.
I was about to comment, but then I forgot what I was going to say.
Oh, I'm so sorry, beta. Okay. So, kids, if you have any question, you have to raise your hands regarding today's Mataji gives the session. Anybody have any question? Please raise your hand. That time lots of students raised their hands. Now what happened?
Manasvi, I think you have question.
Manasvi Manbhai. Okay.
What are the 4 wives of us again?
Yeah, can you say that again?
You said something about the 4 wives. What are
4
they
wives.
again?
Yes. So our 4th wife is this body, who we pay the utmost attention, right? The third body is the wealth and the possession and the assets that we have, that we use for just show off. The third wife is our relative. Yes, sorry. Second wife is like our relatives, friends. We always go to them when we are in some problem, or we need their help, or we are in trouble. We always come to them. And the first wife is like our soul, who we really, really are, who's actually only going to exist even after this body is left behind. Very nice, Manas. We are listening very carefully. So you wanted to give it a second thought, and it's very nice. I'm very happy. Okay, Manahar, you have question?
Why do like some people not be like why do they not like I forgot the last thing I want to say. Like why don't they understand that they're not just body? Like
Yeah, why they
why
don't have
Krishna
the,
give them more intelligence?
right? So your question is, why do people not have this understanding that they are, who they really self are, right? The soul. And
Yeah,
why
and
do they,
why aren't people so intelligent?
or discrimination, right? So the answer to that, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, right? When Arjuna asks this, he was lamenting, right? That I don't want to harm my own people. I don't want to fight with them. I don't want to have this war. What does Krishna say? Krishna tells that these are permanent souls. You're not going to harm anybody. You're not going to kill anybody. The soul's existence is permanent. But by the time's arrangement or nature's arrangement, by the karma's arrangement, moreover, whatever they have done, the deeds, they have to face the results now. So in that, when that discussion happens between Arjuna and Krishna, one thing Krishna says that I am telling you this knowledge, I'm giving you this knowledge because you are very dear friend to me and you are devoted to me. And you know what does Arjuna say to Krishna? That I am surrendered to you, and please instruct me. So how many people are coming to Krishna or coming or seeking that knowledge? So God reveals the knowledge to only a person who is seeking it. See, you all could be doing all other things at this time, right? You have summer vacation, you could be going out and playing, but you're sitting and listening. That means you want to seek some knowledge. You want to inquire. You want to know Krishna. You want to know about Krishna. So you're actually putting efforts to connect back to Krishna, right? How many people do that? And so then, based on whatever they are doing, Krishna has given free choice, free will, but they are misusing the free wills. That's why they don't have the right understanding. Okay, Radhika, you have question?
Yes, Madhuri. So I remember my comment. I was about to say that on that slide where it says our fourth wife is our soul. I was about to say that we are the soul. It's not like there is like
Yes.
we have a soul. It's we are the soul.
Yes, that's very good observation. Like I said, the story is just to explain the analogy of the consciousness of the king. That king had that consciousness of dealing with these four aspects, right? So our consciousness actually pays the least attention to the fourth aspect, that is the own self. So this kind of just gives you a way to understand. Yes, it's very correct that it's not our soul, it is we are the soul. That's what it is. So very nice, Radhika. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, Mataji. Thanks.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay.
I think so.
Thank you all. Thank you all, and it's very nice. So we'll continue to study this, and then and we will also continue to discuss this. So that's what we will do in this class. We'll discuss and we'll study this together.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much for a very, very nice session, Mataji. Amazing.
Thank you. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Is this stories in Hindi, Mataji? The four wives, that story is in Hindi where I got that.
Yes, I think it should be there, Mataji, somewhere for sure. You just picked it up from internet. But yes,
Okay.
I will look up and I'll also send you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. So, thank you so much, Mataji. So, we will meet again by next Thursday.
Yes.
Hari.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram.
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Yash. Yash, are you there?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yash. Hare Krishna, Yash. Thank you so much for joining. So, now, kids, we have to move on our chess class.